Namaste everyone, my name's Claire and we're going to do some yoga. Today we're going to focus on opening up our hips. So we're going to start by just going into like a butterfly pose. So put your feet together and put down your knees as far as you can. You might not be able to put them down all the way, it might look like this. That's totally fine, just whatever you can do. And then we're going to reach forward. So inhale and exhale, we're going to reach forward. And you're just going to reach as far forward as you can go. Now, when you're reaching forward, you don't want your sits bones to come up. So you want to reach forward as far as you can with your sits bones and your bottom still on the mat. We're just going to breathe in here. If you feel your sits bones coming up, just back up a little bit. On every inhale, try to lengthen forward. And on every exhale, try to deepen your pose a little deeper. So we're going to inhale, try to lengthen a little farther, reach your fingers. Exhale, try to put your chest closer to your feet. Again, this might look like this in your body. That's totally fine. However far you can get is progress in your body. Everyone's body is different, and everyone has done different things. The more you practice, the further you get in each pose. We're going to sit here about 10 more breaths. Remember, as you inhale, try to find length in your spine. Use your spine. Lengthen your spine to try to move your hands a little further up the mat. And exhale to deepen your chest closer towards your feet. Trying to just breathe into the pose. Breathing into any kind of discomfort. And last breath. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, deepen. Okay, now we'll slowly walk our hands back up the mat to sitting position. And the next one we'll do is we're going to lay flat on our back. We're going to put our knees up and our feet towards our butts. We're going to take our right leg first. We're going to cross our right ankle over our left thigh. So if that's enough for you, if you're feeling that enough, you can completely just stay there. That's totally fine. If you want a little more, you can lift up your left leg, and then you can even reach under your left leg and pull yourself in closer. Now this one as well, you don't want to pull in and have your sits bones come up and your butt come off. Really your sits bones, the two back here. You want your full spine to stay on the ground and your sits bones. So if you feel your sits bones coming up or your spine coming up off the mat at all, then you want to lower back down a little bit. We're just going to stay in this pose for a couple breaths. See if you can pull your left leg a little closer in. flex your feet. That'll activate the muscles. As long as you're activating your muscles, it prevents you from injuries by overstretching. So, and if you feel like it hurts really bad, just back up a little bit. Don't overdo it, but activate the muscles by flexing your feet. See if you can pull yourself in a little further on every exhale without lifting the spine up off the mat. You're doing a great job. The longer we stay in the pose, the harder it gets. You're going to stay here about 10 more breaths. Every exhale, see if you can bring that leg closer. Notice how if you exhale, the air leaves your stomach and you have a little more room to bring your leg closer to your chest. Okay, we're going to gently exit this pose by lowering your leg back down if you lifted it. And then we'll bring our knee into our chest. We can bring our other knee up and give yourself a nice little squeeze. And now we're going to lower our right leg, put our foot near our bums. Take your left ankle and cross it over your right shin. And we're going to do the same thing. So if this is enough for you here, just leave it here. And if you want a little more, put your hands in between the space under your right thigh and start pulling your leg closer. Remember to keep your spine fully flat on your mat. Don't pull up where your spine comes up or your sits bones come up. Just pull where your spine stays on that mat. You're doing a great job. The longer you stay in the pose, you'll notice the more you can start pulling your leg closer into your chest. Make sure you're flexing your feet, both of them, to prevent from injuries. You can flex your feet all the way too. That definitely helps. And on your exhales, lower that leg closer to your chest. This is a great way to open your hips. Even if you don't do yoga and you just clicked on this because you're a runner or something like that and you need to open up your hips, this is my favorite. One of my favorites. Okay, we're going to stay here about 10 more breaths. See how low in these last 5 breaths you can bring your leg into your chest. Wherever you are in your body with this stretch, as long as you feel that sensation in your hip, that is what we're going for. Okay, we'll slowly release out of this pose by putting our leg back to the ground. And we'll put our left knee into our chest, our right knee up to our chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe rock back and forth. Massage your back on the ground. And now we're going to do a pigeon pose. So for pigeon pose, what we're going to do is we're going to put one leg back and one leg in front of you like this. So we're going to put one leg at about a 90-degree angle in front of you, and we're going to let the other leg drop back. If your knee's not touching the ground, if you're like all the way up here, that's totally fine. Just whatever it looks like in your body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly walk ourselves forward. So even if you're like up here and up here, it's totally fine. Just wherever you are, start walking forward. Try to relax into the pose. If you're really far forward, you can just rest your head on your arms as deep down as you can go. Just really feeling that sensation in your hip. Just breathing in, breathing out. Breathing into that sensation in your right hip. You're doing a very good job. You came to this video today to open up your hips. And you are definitely opening up your hips. And you might be in terrible pain, or you may have done enough hip exercises and hip stretches that you learn to love the sensation. I'm going to stay here about 6 more breaths. Okay, we're going to slowly walk our hands back up the mat. We'll slowly put our right foot back behind us and bring our left foot in front of us at about a 90-degree angle. Okay. Make sure that back leg is straight. And we'll settle back in. Reaching forward, slowly bending down. Finding that resting pose. Relaxing your body by breathing into that sensation in your left hip. Almost done. Doing a great job. as long as you're feeling that sensation in your left hip, then you're right where you should be. I'm going to stay here for about 8 more breaths. You're doing such a great job. We are almost done. Just one more breath. And we'll start lifting ourselves slowly back off the mat. Slowly getting your foot back under. And now we'll take our final resting pose, Shavasana. So we'll just lay on our backs, palms up towards the sky, feet mats width apart, and just breathe. Really feel your hips. Know what great progress you made today in opening your hips. And the more you practice, the more open you'll be able to get your hips, the less prone to injuries you'll be. Just take a moment to be happy with yourself. Feel proud. If you feel where you're tensing your body at all, just breathe in on an exhale. Relax those parts that may be tensed. All right. And you are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. And thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Namaste. And thanks. I hope you had a good time.